Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Like so many of our healthcare facilities, the Strait Richmond Hospital is greatly in need of renovations to modernize the facility. The hospital was built in the early 1980s, and because of its age, it doesn't have accessible washrooms, nor does it have washrooms anywhere in the emergency department. Literally, patients are having to use like a commode if they can't get to the washroom. Patients visiting a surgeon have to first walk through the emergency department, and while donors and the NSHA are committed to providing some money, it's going to be up to the hospital foundation to find the balance of the $2.3 million for the renovations. Does the minister think it's fair to ask the foundation to fundraise that much money for badly needed renovations?
The Honourable Minister of Health.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I thank the member for the question. Indeed, we work with our partners, the Nova Scotia Health Authority and the IWK, to bring forward their prioritized investments for infrastructure and equipment. Mr. Speaker, both in my former role as Finance Minister and subsequently now as Health Minister, have met with representatives of hospital foundations throughout the province. They made a number of requests about the approach that we take as a government when it comes to working on capital campaigns and expectations, how we roll out in partnership with these organizations, capital fundraising. We've made several changes in the last year in line with what we've been asked to do.
The Honourable Member for Cape Breton-Richmond.
Mr. Speaker, the Strait Richmond Hospital, I'm going to give you some stats. Registrations last year were 28,264, inpatient admissions 609, and when the ER was open, which it wasn't a lot of the time, we had 9,577 emergency admissions. This is an important hospital to our area. The catchment area is not only Cape Breton-Richmond, it's Inverness, it's Guysborough, and it's also actually within the Health Minister's district of Antigonish. I get phone calls from that area as well about how important this hospital is. We have a private donation of $300,000. The hospital foundation is willing to put in $300,000 as well. What is the minister willing to put into a $2.3 million to renovate the Strait Richmond Hospital?
The Honourable Minister of Health.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. As I'm sure the member can appreciate, hospital infrastructure, our healthcare infrastructure throughout the province is very important to all communities, Mr. Speaker. The investments and the sequence of the investments into new infrastructure projects and equipment, we do rely on the health authorities, the IWK and the Nova Scotia Health Authority to bring forward their recommendations and requests for investments, Mr. Speaker. That's how we prioritize. We then move forward with our budget to invest in those projects that we can, and we'll continue to knock projects off that list as we move forward.